I'm often shown a balloon and an image of a balloon. And now take our planet filled. We got plenty of it right now that we're witnessing. People harming each other, wars, I'm going to say creepy leaders. So we have this going on, and they really don't know their light. They don't know. They never experienced it. They haven't met up with their higher self. They don't know it. They don't know that they're love for whatever reasons. And so then their actions will reflect on love, on light, right? And then we call it harm, murder, all of the things we put words on it and perspectives, because that's how we live. Now that collects, imagine a balloon, it just keeps getting filled up with those unloving, unlight actions and energies. That's the ego. As it's growing, it's expanding and expanding and expanding. And in the case of like the ego soup, well, what makes it burst? A couple of things that can happen before that. The ego then has an awareness of itself somehow. And the records also convey that the ego's not real, because all that's real is love. And you know how we know, there's proof of that. When there's an unlight, unloving something happening, and you, like a Cupid's arrow, shoot love into it, it's gone. It never existed. Because unlove doesn't exist. So it's a little weird to say something doesn't exist, but then it's collecting over here. But somehow that's how it's working, right? So this ego consciousness grows as long as we continue to feed it with the unloved, the unlight. And then what happens is more acts of kindness and love and compassion will begin to dissipate it. And the records say the soup rots and dies eventually. We're not there yet. Not with the collective ego conscious, we're not. But here's an image, or the balloon bursts, that's what will happen. But in the case of the collective ego conscious, that soup, actually I've been shown another image, a gray band pulsing around the planet, just right around the planet, just pulsing. And that's the collective ego conscious. No matter where on the earth, there is an act of love, appreciation, kindness, even for yourself. Anything that is heart driven, it emanates out, it's energy, and it will punch a hole in that band. And if enough of that is happening, the ego is going to diminish. So the ego conscious. So the ego, once it forms itself and it has an awareness of itself, it fears its demise. And it's interesting. It's not surprising to me that something called an ego would then have an awareness of itself, because that's what ego is. And when we're trapped in our ego, we're self-aware, over-aware, all of that. So it becomes aware of itself, and it fears that it's going to no longer need to exist. The other thing too is because energy attracts energy, as it's forming and growing from these unloving, unlight acts, it's going to attract more. It's going to find those people that feel like crap, the people that feel, that they're just down and out, or they're in victimhood. The ego loves that. It's not going to come to somebody that's loving themselves. In fact, if love comes near it, it poofs out of existence. It can't exist, right? It cannot exist near love or around love because it doesn't know it. So that's what I know about the ego. And I've seen it in action. I've seen it unfold in that way. And we have plenty of examples of what happens when somebody loves somebody, or even somebody who loves somebody that they thought they hated. Think about that. Look what happens. We don't hear enough of these stories, in my opinion, because of other stuff, because the collective ego conscious has a powerful hold right now on the planet, over the planet.